Hello everyone. Today we continue the same chapter number 4, current, electricity and magnetism. So today we learn these three topics. First one, electric cell, second, kinetic cell, and third one is electric bell. So students, let's learn. Now students, there is a new topic, that is electric cell. Let me tell you, electric cell is an object or component that generates potential difference. And of course, you know that potential difference is nothing but flow of current. So students, there is three type of electric cell. First is dry cell, second one lead acid cell, and the third one is NiCd cell, that is nothing but nickel cadmium cell. So here we learn one by one each type of electric cell. So how do they work? How do they different from each other? So let's start to learn. Let's learn dry cells. It looks something like this, students. We all have seen this. So here dry cells are used in radio, wall clock, torches, etc. So students, these dry cells are available in 3-4 sizes. Now students, let's see the construction of dry cell. So students, first we are begin out, the topic is dry cell. So students, here is some points which are based on dry cells. So look at this one, dry cell. Dry cell does not use any liquid. Instead of that, we used a wet paste like structure. It's a structure, means you can say that it's a pulp like structure, and it is made up of ZnCl2, and you can call it as it's a zinc chloride, and another chemical is NH4Cl, that is called as ammonium chloride. So this chemical, it is called as a electrolyte. Clear students? So students, in this picture we can see the electrolyte. So this electrolyte is made up of zinc chloride and ammonium chloride. Now students, this electrolyte have a carbon electrolyte, and it is called as graphite rod also, and this rod is surrounded by another chemical, that is MnO2. So MnO2 is nothing but manganese dioxide, and this graphite rod is act as a positive terminal. Now students, see this picture, in middle of that one is rod, that is nothing but positive terminal. Students, in this picture we can see that there is a zinc cover. So this zinc cover is act as a negative terminal, and in this dry cell we have graphite rod. So this graphite rod has a positive terminal, whereas a zinc cover has a negative terminal. So we have two terminals, first is positive terminal and another one is negative terminal. Now students, whenever these two terminals are connected with each other via wires or something, then electricity start flow through the wires, and this dry cell we can use in mobile instrument also. So these are some uses and construction of dry cells. So students, I hope you clear the concept of dry cell. Now students, see this picture. This is another cell, that is lead acid cell. So students, here is some point which helps to understand lead acid cell. Now students, listen carefully. Lead acid cell has a acid, okay, so which plays a role of electrolyte. Now students, see in beaker there is an electrolyte, and students, this acid is nothing but H2SO4, and this H2SO4 is called as sulfuric acid. And students, in electrolyte there is two electrode. Now students, look at the picture very carefully. You can see there is one red electrode and another one is blue electrode. Now in red electrode is a positive terminal and it is also called as anode, and lead dioxide is the symbol of PbO2. Pb is nothing but lead and O2 is nothing but dioxide. Now students, see the blue electrode. Blue electrode is also called as a negative terminal, and negative terminal we can call that it is cathode also. Now students, a lead is a symbol of Pb. Now students, I hope you clear these two electrodes. Now students, these electrodes are dipped in a dilute sulfuric acid, and students, very much important is this electrolyte can produce a larger amount of current. Now student, see the last type of cell, that is NiCd cell. It is also called as nickel cadmium cell. Now student, first of all, let me tell you, it looks like a yellow cell. And the main advantages of this nickel cadmium cell is portable, means we can carry or move, whereas we can rechargeable this battery, means we can reuse this battery. Clear student? So this is a main advantage of nickel cadmium cell. Now students, see this picture. In your textbook, this figure is an electric circuit. So now students, we learn how to bulb gets on with the help of dry cell, plug key and electrical bulb. Clear students? Now students, listen carefully and look at the next picture. Now students, listen carefully. When a cell holder, an electric bulb and a plug key are connected by connecting wires. Clear students? Look at this figure as shown in this figure, and a dry cell is fitted in the holder. Clear? Then the bulb lights up by closing the plug key. Clear? When you close the plug key, then the light is on. Now students, what you understand from this activity? You understood that a current flows through the circuit and bulb lights up. So easy. Clear students? Now student, see this picture. In this picture, when you remove the cell, the electrical current flowing through the circuit stops, and therefore the bulb is not glow, as you can see in this picture. So students, this type of connection of electrical component is called an electrical circuit. So students, I hope you clear this one, how to bulb gets on with the help of dry cell, wires and bulb. Now students, let's learn new topic, that is connecting cell. So students, see this picture. Students, you must have seen more than one electrical cells connecting in an electrical circuit as shown in this figure. Now, some students have doubt why we can do like that, because of to obtain more potential differences with the help of more than 3 dry cells. Now students, see the example of connecting cell. First one is transistor radio and another is remote control. So here we can see that a dry cells are connected in series. Now students, tell me what is the purpose and why we can use 2-3 dry cells. Think students. Okay, the purpose of doing this is to obtain more potential difference than that of a single cell. Therefore, it is possible to obtain higher current. Now students, as you can see in this picture, If the cells are connecting like that, the connection of cells is known as battery of cells. Now let's learn magnetic effect of electric current. Let's do to understand this topic with the help of activity. So students, in 1819, there was a scientist named Hans Christian Ørsted. He found out that if you keep the compass near the current carrying wires, then the compass needles deflect to some extent. Now students, see the picture very carefully that when a current passes through the wires and we keep the compass near that wire, the needle get deflected. That means the position of needle get changed. Now you can see in this figure the needle of that compass is change their position. So students, this means that magnetic field is created when an electric current flows in a wire. Now students, let's something about electrical bell. So students, this is the picture of electrical bell. Students, we can see this type of electrical bell in so many places. Now students, see this picture very carefully. Electric bell consists of push switch, battery, electromagnet, coil of wire, gong and striker. Now students, let us understand how the working of the bell. Students, listen carefully. A copper wire is wound around an iron piece. So students, this coil acts as an electromagnet as you can see in this picture. An iron strip along with a striker is filtered near to the electromagnet. A contact screw is in touch with the strip. The current flows the circuit when a screw is in contact with the strip, and hence the coil becomes a magnet and attract the iron strip towards it. Therefore, the striker hits the gong and the sound is created. So students, like that the electric bell is work. Now students, this action is repeat itself and the bell is ring. Students, this is all about electric bell, and with this we end the chapter. I hope you all are understood whatever I try to explain. And bye bye. Thank you all of you.